crafty babes. Welcome to another Watch Me Work as I put together week number 2 in my 2020 Weekly Memories album. This is the second week of January, so we have some snow pictures, which is super fun. My son's friend's family invited him up to Tahoe to go spend the day in the snow. And of course, she was sweet enough to send me pictures of them sledding and doing snow angels. And so I get to include those in my pages this week. Another thing I'm doing that I'm really excited about is using some 3x8 cards here. So I know they are a little short. They are not exactly, they don't fit precisely, but you can still do the same thing with these as you do with the 3x4 cards. And In a Creative Bubble has tons of 3x8 cards, and I just used my template and merged a couple of the cells together to make taller cells, and then inserted the 3x8 cards in there and printed them out just like I would the smaller cards. And that way I can use them vertically, and I still get to have some fun with the 3x8 cards that she designs. They are so cute. So I've used a couple of them here, and I have picked my cards. I'm still looking for a couple others just to kind of throw in some graphics, maybe some words. I'm filling them in here with some of her cards that I've printed on sticker paper. That makes it really easy to just stick them down to wherever they decide to live. And I am using my new minimalist template that is available in my shop. And this is the option number 2, where we have Monday through Thursday on the left and Friday through Sunday on the right, leaving some open space on the right. I've been loving this version. It's just a little something different. I like to change it up. So we have option 1 and option 2 in that minimalist bundle. Again, you can go to retrohipco.com/shop, and I will leave the link for that in the description, of course. So now we're going to start gluing, and I'm hoping, I've got this on super fast forward, so you guys don't have to sit through too much of the gluing process. But as you can see, we are making our way. I have a combination here of In a Creative Bubble cards and some Studio Calico cards. I think I've from the new, I don't know, it was probably February or March. There might be a couple things in here I use for March. It's really hard for me to keep track of these days because after I cut them up, they get jumbled, and I don't live with the cards being in a set together for long enough to really get acquainted with them. I just recently organized the smaller cards by color like I would normally do my 3x4 pocket cards, because my pile was just getting a little too big to manage. I just was kind of tired of thumbing through it, and I knew I would have to do that at some point. But it was time. And so I've started to make the little separators for them, like the little index toppers. What am I saying? Like the section dividers. And so I'm still working on that process. That's a little bit of a project. But here I'm just kind of pulling out some ephemera and embellishments that I think might work. I'm going to keep it really simple at this point. I'm just going to find some things that I might want to use, and then I'm going to go do my dates. I've definitely fallen into a good routine here with getting my cards and photos glued down so that isn't something that moves around, and then picking some embellishments that I might want to use just as a kind of a trial. Then once I realize what colors I might be focusing on, that helps me pick the colors for my date stamps. So that's what we're going to do here. For the dates this time, I am going to grab a chunkier alpha stamp and I'm going to reveal it here in a moment. There it is. It's an older Felicity Jane alpha stamp. It's called Bold. And I'm thinking for these that they're going to be a little too wide to do a 3-letter day of the week, like MON. So I am going to do 2 letters, the first 2 letters, and then a period at the end. I have never done that before, and I'm so excited. So it'll fit wonderfully. They'll be kind of not bunched together, but there won't be a ton of separation in between them, but it is almost the perfect width for the space allotted here. And I just love the way that they kind of look like they run together, and the period honestly helps. I think if it were just the 2 letters, it might not look as good. The period definitely helps kind of separate that out. And again, I've never done the 2 letters before, and it dawned on me that obviously there's tons of situations that we use just the first 2 letters of the day of the week, and I was all about it. So I'm using the green. This is what? Oh, no, it's not mowed lawn. Darn it. It's upside down. I can't tell. Maybe I'll be able to tell when I put the lid back on. It's sometimes hard for me to remember the names of the Distress Oxide stamps. Nope, put it away. Darn it. Anyway, it's always nice to just have the colors that you typically use in your projects anyway. I tend to use the same colors over and over just because my house has the same colors in it. We're either outside or inside. So I do have to keep some blues and some greens on hand for like nature, and just so that my colors always match. Bundled sage, that's what it is. Okay, so now I'm using these large serifed fonts, numbers from Carrie Bradford. And at first I was just going to use the one open, and then I decided to grab my Tattered Rose, which is that light pink color, do a solid, and then I will do the outline in black so that it gives a little pop. And then I realize I'm quite off camera here, but you can get the idea. I'm working with just a bit of a narrower space, and these pages are so big, I lose sometimes where I need to be in the frame, but y'all get it. And we're going to move up here in a sec, so you'll be able to see everything. And then underneath, I'm just going to layer a couple pieces of washi so that it kind of has a place to rest, and we'll do some more stamping here and see how that turns out. I just love the way that those letters look. I think I'm going to try that more often. Even with the smaller, thinner letters, I think I'll try the two digits, 2 alphas. It is kind of a digit. Is it a character? I guess it's a character when you're combining numbers and letters. And then for the actual date, I'm going to use my 6-digit date stamp. Well, it's just a 6-digit roller stamp. It's not actually supposed to be for dates, but that's basically what everybody uses them for. So I'm just doing the first 2 digits, of each month, day, year. And I'm doing that in black just so that there's not a lot of competing color. We've got a lot of black in the photos anyway, and down in the washi. So it makes complete sense. I like to stamp in black. It just helps anchor things, in my opinion. If I didn't have colored ink, I probably would still do the amount of stamping that I do. But of course, the colored ink makes everything much more fun and colorful. Okay, we are going to start moving things up here and in frame, which is great. And we are ready to clean up a little bit and start decorating. And I think at some point you'll be able to see the washi that I used at the bottom as well. We'll get there, folks. We'll get there. For now, I am finding little places for the embellishments that I wanted to use. I'm going to have, I would say, quite a bit of journaling, which is just a little bit abnormal for me. So I'm just trying to find all of the things that I want to use. So I'm doing a little bit of layering here on this first card, just a little torn off scrap paper, a yellow ticket, and this cute sticker that says blah, 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 because it was Monday and that's how I felt. I really love the idea of this doily being in the corner with a couple of hearts layered on there. And that big puffy ampersand is from an older Felicity Jane kit. And it felt right to like put something in the middle there, even though they weren't at the snow for the 2 days. Those photos kind of all go together. So I kind of wanted to do something in the center of them to pull them in. And then before I adhere that little cluster, I felt good with it, so I stapled it together. And then I will glue it on to that pink card. Just trying to figure out where else things might go. I'm really loving these stitched tabs from Whimsy Fox Crafts. So I find any reason to use them and her felt hearts on my layouts all of the time. Here is where we're going to get into journaling, and I'm going to pop it on super fast forward here in just a second. I could have easily cut some of this journaling out, but I don't know. I feel like when I cut too much out that you might kind of lose my sporadicness of where I go. Sometimes I don't do all of my journaling all at once. Sometimes if I just have the idea of what I want to write in there, I'll just kind of get it down because my thoughts don't always stay with me. So, but other times I really want to just get all of the items down, and then I'll do my journaling at once at the end. Because sometimes I need to think a little bit about what I want to write, and being on camera kind of makes that difficult sometimes. But I'm working on it. We're getting better at this. I'm not feeling so much stage fright. I do feel a little bit of time pressure, though. That is something that I do deal with. So I'm just adding a couple of little stamped phrases here and there. I always love to stamp at the end to just kind of finish things off. Stamps for me help me journal like crazy. They help me tell stories and say words that I might not think of. And then we are going to end with this tab. I'm going to put it right here on the edge, and then we are going to call it done. I'm going to have some photos here for you so that you can look up close. And maybe I didn't even add, I did not even add any washi at the bottom, which is okay. I don't have to use the same formula every time, but here are some close-ups so you can see a little bit more of the detail. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you don't miss my stuff. I won't ask you to hit the bell because, you know, notifications just kind of take up room in our brains that may not be necessary. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk next time. See you soon.